here online. And so I'm going to open up the Clubhouse app in just a second here. And I want to welcome everybody here as they're hopping on right now. And we got a great show for y'all tonight. So y'all make sure y'all get ready. Let me get the Clubhouse room open. And then let me open the chats. If you're here right now, go ahead and send us a message on the chat system and let us know you're here so I can give you recognition for being here early with us. I know, and I got the greatness Marie Jackson here from Kansas City, the Ghost Hunter. So we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about the links and everything, y'all, tonight. So get ready, get ready. So let me open the Clubhouse app so we can bring them into the conversation to listen. And we're going to jump some things up. But if you're here in the audience, I see a lot of you on screen. Go ahead and give us a not a hallelujah, but just hello.
Hello.
Yeah, just
hello, viewers.
Yeah.
And listeners.
Yes, and listeners. And, well, they're not here yet. So I'm opening up the room. Soon as I get the link, which I'm supposed to have, we're live, and I should have the link. Oh, I thought I already copied it a while ago. Hey, Step, I see you. Tyron, how's it going? What if Ghost was trapped in the parallel universe? Boy, we got some sophisticated people. You know, every now and then, you just get those people that come that just really
make you think.
Right, they make you think. So we're gonna get on all of that in just a minute. I just need to open up the audio in the Clubhouse side so they can listen in, but they're gonna really want the visuals instead. So it is now open, and let me see if I can pin a link in here that I had already. And, oh man, I don't. Okay, well, I was trying to get the YouTube link for them. And, all right, everyone, if you're in Clubhouse and you're listening in, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so we're live from YouTube. So if you got, I'm going to pin the link up in just a minute. This is live, everybody. This is all impromptu. But we got a ghost hunter right here, and of course, UFO investigator. We're going to get into some details, and good evening. Oh, let me pop up. You know, Steph says hi there. What's going on? And then we have Miss Vicky there. And we got this Tyron guy. He says, what if Ghost was trapped in a parallel universe? Then they trapped.
Then they're stranded.
They're stranded, and they're in there, and they need to stay in there, I think. But we're going to talk about, you know, how it all comes together in just a second here. But I am really fidgeting through this phone to give the, oh, there we go. There's the link to the YouTube channel. And I was trying it. Oh, man, I had it. I had it right there. It's got us right there. Hang on. I'm getting here now, y'all. Boy, am I going to mess this up. I'm not going to mess it up.
You got this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, I got the link. Oh, yeah, we cooking. So now I can put this into the Clubhouse room, and then if they want to just click right on into the live stream, they can. Bam. Okay, so, all right, so we got people there listening. Welcome to Clubhouse family and everyone else. So I'm going to open this up first. You know, we had a little small theme song here just to let you know. I want to welcome you to the Why the Big Secret. Your question is going to be really warranted tonight. If you want to have some questions, but you're going to hear Marie and I talk about a few things, and I'll give you an introduction to her in just a second. But in the meantime, we just got to open ourselves up to know that we're here for a reason.
Truth seekers will
there we
really
go.
The true leaders. It's time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts. They're covering all the tracks, but we're not backing down. It's our time, stay on the grind. Why the big secret's about to blow your mind.
And y'all heard it first, so I want to welcome each and every one of you. It's Thursday. We don't have a theme for this day yet, but Maria and I is going to be doing this mostly every Thursday. So if y'all want to get in on it and just come up with a name, you know, we already got Freaky Friday for tomorrow's. So we got to come up with some Thursday. And if you there, go ahead and hit me. Now, if you're in YouTube or on a Clubhouse right now, we're live on YouTube. You're listening to the stream if you want to see our faces. Because I think we both got face for TV. I mean, she sure does. You do. Yeah, she got a face for TV. So
Thank you.
if you want, y'all can click that link right up above there in Clubhouse. It'll bring you straight into the live stream from there, and we have it there. So with that being said, again, if you also have a question, you're in the audience, you want to hit this chat, please do so that we can kind of get this thing in it. But you're going to hear some perspective tonight. You're going to hear Marie is a true ghost hunter. And as I get into it in a minute, she actually just finished. She just came from L.A. filming a TV show. Congrats.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
So she's on TV and all that good stuff. And she has a YouTube channel, and I'll be posting all that social links and stuff as well. In fact, if you're on the screen now, you will see her Instagram, and I'll bring it up later too. So don't worry about it if you're missing all of it right now. But you can go and follow her on Instagram, which is Ghostlink TV. And then you got the YouTube Ghostlink TV as well, and Facebook Ghostlink TV. So everything is Ghostlink. So it just kind of works from there. So once again, it's all excitement to there. So first of all, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. Hello to everybody who has tapped in. It is such a pleasure to finally be on the show with you, Roderick, and it's been great. This journey has been amazing. And
okay. And I'm sorry for cutting you short, but go ahead, keep talking.
No. I'm excited to have this discussion and to learn some new things about this other paradigm that exists that I haven't tapped into. So yes, everything's been wonderful. What about you? You've got some fascinating things going on in your journey as well.
You know what I did? I was trying to lose some weight. I've been working on trying to get back to 6 pounds 7 ounces. I've been working on it. I mean, I'm trying to get back to the beginning and then start all over, and this time eat the right stuff. So it's been a journey, and I don't think I'll ever get back there, but I think if I keep it up. But in the meantime, on the other side of the fence, if it comes down to, this past weekend I was in at Billy Carson's, the Black Knight satellite documentary. It was it was the red carpet event, and
I know that was amazing.
It was on
experience.
It was really on it, and it was a great time from there. And so, but people heard about that yesterday too. But I know, and so I think they really want to talk about some ghosts.
Some ghosts.
They want to talk about some ghosts, and
Let's
they want
talk
to talk about some UFOs. And but first, let me just set the tone here. I have something special here. And this is when we first met. Look at that. I still have it.
You still have it. Oh, gosh. That brings back so many memories.
This is it's in Kansas City, right? It's the magazine.
It's a magazine in Kansas City.
Yep. And features her and being a ghost hunter.
Yes.
So y'all can kind of see that. And tell us about this real quickly. Tell us about it.
So, I got really heavily involved in doing my investigative research and ghost hunting, and you just never know who's paying attention to you. Gotcha. You just never know. So this agent reached out to me and asked me would I be interested in doing an interview with The Pitch, and I'm like, The Pitch? Isn't that the local Kansas City newspaper, the magazine? Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, and we heard all about you, heard some podcasts. So I ended up doing the interview for The Pitch, which is very well known in Kansas City, Missouri. And it's actually a free magazine that you can pick up at any station all around the state. And they were like, we got something to tell you. And I said, what? They were like, your article made the front cover of the Pitch Weekly for the December 2020 issue.
All right now.
Yes, 3-page spread. And I was extremely fascinated. They said that article was the best article they had ever put out because it was so unique. Being a Black woman in this field is interesting. It's so intriguing. It's so different. And them picking up on me was just like, this is the story of the year. So that came out and we went and did a photo shoot. I didn't even think it was going to get to that extent. I had no idea. I thought they were just going to interview me, hear my story, but they literally did a whole photo shoot, did a whole interview. They even found a location, which that on the cover of the article, it's in Independence, Missouri. It's a haunted location, very well known for being a haunted abandoned building. In the back, there's this shed that I told him I want to go back there in the shed. I want to stand in front of that shed because it seems like it will be a good shot. So yeah, so I actually did I did the photo shoot right there at a haunted location, and they just added all the special effects and the glow that's coming out of the shed. But yeah, that was when I first started getting notoriety and becoming kind of like the face of Kansas City's Black ghost hunter.
All right, so we're gonna talk about these ghosts. Uh-oh, there we
Oh,
go.
I got it. I'm back.
You think a ghost did? You think a ghost did that? I
The
mean, 'cause
ghost hunter.
You can't
The
see
ghost
them
hunter.
anyway, right? You can't. You know.
Well, yeah. In my life, I can actually see
We're
the
gonna talk about
apparition.
that.
We're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that. But had that been me, I would just like, oh shit, I messed up
just-
something. But other people be like, it's a ghost or something. We're gonna get into this as well. But anyway, congratulations on all that.
Thank you.
And it's well deserved, and just many more things are going to come.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad we had the opportunity to meet. In fact, we met through Clubhouse.
We met through Clubhouse. We sure did.
And then I think when we first met, we both got hit by the same production stuff in the back. Yeah, and it was like
everything happened at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like it was so crazy how we connected, and then the irony of me having work in Dallas, Texas, and you were actually living in Dallas, Texas.
And I still do.
And you still do.
I still do. So I live in Dallas, and so it was amazing. So all right, so let's get down to, and if you here watching this video on YouTube, definitely if you find value as we begin to talk, or have already found any value, hit that like button. Share the video. Make sure you post your comments through. We need that algorithm to know that we're here. Share it, and there's other people. Now, we're going to get into some detail on some things tonight, and I want to telegraph you that, we might have a few laughs too, because the whole thing is to get some people understanding that although we do know this is some serious subjects that we do talk about, but at the end of the day, some things you just got to laugh at, because it's not all about the mental issues of everything, but it's basically for sure about you getting through whatever those experiences are on the other side, so that you can just have a normal life about it. And I think, at the end of the day, it's just some of those things. So, one of the questions I get all the time in my particular field, Marie, is that, are UFO real? So what I'm going to do is just ask that question to you. Are ghosts real?
Oh, man. I've gotten this question in so many different forms. And ghosts are absolutely real. They are extremely real. There's different levels that I've been able to identify in my investigative research, in my background, to help distinguish between the types of ghosts that one might encounter in their home. But ghosts are most definitely real. I came up with this concept of identifying them as energy forms. So instead of calling them ghosts per se, I call them energy forms, because they are compiled of energy. Energy ones, energy twos, energy threes, and energy fours. Those are the different levels that I identify when I'm doing my investigations, when I go into a home or a location, and I'm able to feel specific energies. Then I'll be able to tell you which level it is. The lesser the number, the lower the energy. That means that these are the type of energy forms that are just kind of less active, but they're still there and present. Energy ones and twos. Energy threes and fours are more of what people consider to be like the extremely active ones, the ones that knock stuff over in your house and move things around and sound alarms, and can actually make themselves extremely visible, and can even make themselves visible in a manipulative form that you're thinking, okay, this is probably this type of energy form, but they're really manipulating, and they're very, very, they're very interesting.
Well, I will bet it would be. I got a question here from one of our audience, and he asked, what's the most prominent, shocking, supernatural experience you've had? I love it when before you answer that, this is when you got this educated audience. Me, I was like, what's shit? Tell me some shit that scares you the most. He got the sentence of, the most prominent, shocking, supernatural you've had. So I love it. So let's just go with the technical term, and then I'm gonna go with the street term. Saying, have you ever walked in the door and some shit said, "Get out," and then you left? So we'll go with him first.
Yes. So The most interesting encounter that I've ever had, I was doing an investigation in South Carolina. And this particular house was owned by a Confederate soldier named William McCorkle back in the 1800s.
Okay.
Yes. So when I went in to do this investigation, I typically tell people, don't tell me everything. Let me figure it out. Let me find out. Let me use my energy to discover what's in here. Because if you tell me what's going on, then I'm already going to be alluded to what's possibly there.
Oh, I got
you.
Okay.
So yeah. So when I got in there, I started seeing certain energies. Energy 1 through 4 was in this particular home. So me and the family are standing in their foyer area, and all of a sudden, a blue fire comes through the floor and goes straight through the ceiling.
A fire.
A blue fire.
Like the fire I can go in there and cook a hamburger with.
Like the blue fire that you see on the stove when you're trying to light the pilot.
See, that's some shit. That's kind of. And then what do you do? And if they've seen something like that before, how do you?
Yeah.
So could that have potentially burned the house down? You know what I mean?
There's just so much compelling research that's going on right now with these particular events. But this family was used to this. This was normal to them. Seeing fire come through the floor, or seeing spurts of fire or smoke in their house. This was their version of normal.
I mean, could you imagine sitting there watching TV and then you got company and a blaze just pop up through the floor and you just look at your neighbor or
you
your
just
friend
look at him like,
don't worry.
Okay, don't worry about that.
Can you move your shoes because they'll sure be on fire? I mean,
it's gonna catch fire.
Yeah, but how would a person deal with? Well, anyway, I got a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Yeah. This definitely just surfaces a lot of questions, but that was the most interesting experience I've ever had with any of my investigations. And for them to be like, this is an everyday normal thing. This is normal. It kind of took me by surprise. Needless to say, I didn't really do too much more with that house because of the strong energy levels that were there.
So you saying it was too much for you?
It was too much for me. Damn. It was way too much for me, and I love doing these type of investigations.
Then I gotta put this up. Like,
yeah, I'm fine.
I think you got a ghost. I think you got a ghost in there.
Like this headset is just not being my best friend.
No, it's a ghost. I'm serious.
It's a ghost.
We're gonna play back. If we play it back and slow it down, I think I saw something. I saw.
You know what?
Something.
You might be right. This
see,
house
right
I
there,
live in.
I just seen it again. I know what audience. Did y'all see it? No.
Did you see it?
If somebody did, damn. Okay. But I got a good audience. They do play along very well. Believe that. Yeah, we get along very well. So
good.
It's like that movie. What's the little kid?
Poltergeist.
I see dead people. No, that one.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll get into that in a minute. But go ahead. So what happened at this point? Did you just tell them that I can't help y'all? This is just a little too damn much.
I sat and I talked to him for a little bit, and I did a little kind of a walkthrough in some of the other rooms. But as I was walking through some of the other rooms, the energy levels were just getting too high for me. And whenever I'm doing an investigation, if it's too strong of an energy, it extracts my energy. And I get weak and I get headaches and I start getting really hot. So once it starts to get to that point, then I can't. Of course,
in that house, you got flames coming up.
And you got flames coming to the floor. You're going to start melting.
I mean, that one. Look, we have a comment here. He said, I did see that orb fly by, laugh aloud. He said it was probably a bug. So to not get you in sense of ghost mode, it was a bug. It was a bug. So
okay.
Because you got to remember, I identify flying objects. So
that's right. That's you.
I was able to see it, and then with all my skills and my ninja type eyes and eagle eyesight and the ability to move like a cat and all that, I was able to slow it down enough to tell you it was a bug. Yeah. So we're gonna go with that. So anyway, so at the end of the day, you left them there. I mean, the ghost is still in their house, and they still live there, right?
They still live there.
See,
I have such a good relationship with them. I met them doing an inspection because I'm a house inspector full time. I'm a claim adjuster.
What?
So I met them doing an actual
When you say
inspection.
House inspector, you mean like you're going up on ladders and shit?
I'm so I'm 5'2". Okay, so me carrying a ladder to a house and getting on top of the roof, inspecting damages, going into basements and attics. That's what I do in a regular full-time job.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question, and I know my audience understand I do have humor. Okay. And the question is, was it a white family or a black family? Because they still there.
It's a white family.
See, all right. So the whole point I'm saying, because my ass would have been gone. For sale signs in the yard, you talking, calling the realtor, discounts, all of the stuff.
No.
But and don't get me wrong, it ain't a white black thing. But I know in the movies, had to been me, my ass would have, and it would have been gone already. I would just have to catch up with it, and we would have to do that because it's just been sold. Period.
And that it's really interesting you say that, because a lot of investigations I've done, when I go there and I discover what's there and I present the evidence to the family, 95% of the time that black family relocates.
See? All right. Okay.
They do.
Now, is it a reason for that? We'll get in that, because I think, as a community at large, we do see these things a little different,
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that through the cultural lens. And even when it comes down to the UFO community, our experiences, the way we interpret those things are a little different. And I don't think the movie's loud enough, but you got the black families probably saying, "Get the hell up out of here." But now don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're renting, right? I rent, and so they'll have no skin in the game. But if you just bought that motherfucker, and you don't spend like $200,000 on the house, you the ghost got to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
it got to go.
Yeah,
and so I think at the end of the day, you want to sit here and be like, okay, ghosts, we're gonna fight this battle, and you hear stories like that all the time where, a ghost is mad because somebody sold the house, or you're living in it and all that. So, and I think that's one of the challenges that we hear. And excuse my audience and all that. I love you guys, and it's not a black and white thing to me, but it seems to have a line drawn somewhere. Yeah.
There's definitely some distinguishing habits and things that, each culture does differently.
So when you do a house, do you have to go through the history? So if you're dealing with a black ghost or a white ghost, does that matter?
It doesn't necessarily matter, but when I do go into the home and I do start to feel the energies and see the apparitions, I'm able to tell a little bit about what type of race they might have been.
Get out of here.
I can definitely tell. A lot of the.
I mean, they're not rapping, and you get the hell out, get the hell. You hear a different tone, like get out the house versus you gotta get out the. I can't make it around. I don't rhyme, but the whole point is it's different between the two.
Yeah, it is different. There's certain, like if I see an apparition, I can see the type of clothing that they wore.
Apparition, for my audience and me, what does that mean?
Yeah, apparition is just it's the silhouette or the smoky figure of a level 1 through 4 entity, ghost. You would just basically just see the outline of it, not necessarily the face of it.
Oh, because I saw one of your videos that you did. And it showed the kind of the outline or something, right?
Yes.
So y'all need to check that out. She had a video. It's still on the YouTube?
It's still on the YouTube.
Yeah, y'all want to check that out. I got a question for one of my trusted members here, and this is Karis Dillon, Dr. Karis Dillon. She has a YouTube channel as well, my last Neuron. So y'all want to listen to that. You'll get some good insights. But she says, hey, I've been pushed down the stairs while investigating, and has this happened. So what I'm going to do with her, Doc, go into Clubhouse, and I'm going to bring you up on the thing, and you can talk into the conversation with her when you get an opportunity, okay? Let me know when you're there. I'll be looking. But, yeah, so she was saying, because I want to hear about what happened to you, Doc, on that. So have you ever been pushed around by a ghost?
Have I ever been pushed around by a ghost?
Yeah, you 5'2". You 5'2".
Oh, my gosh. Absolutely. Yes, I've been pushed. I've been injured. I've been scratched. I've been scratched. I went to an investigation one time, and I came to the front steps and then walked to the front entrance, and I had scratches on the back of my neck. There was one incident where I did an investigation, and we were at the top of the stairs, and I was pushed, almost fell down the stairs. Yeah, they definitely make physical contact with you. And it's such a scary and exciting thing for me. And it's so familiar to me because of what happened to me when I was a child, which is what ignited me being an investigator. So having lived in a haunted house and experience getting pushed and having scars till this day. Like I have a scar on my forehead from when one of the entities actually pushed me off of a bump bed.
Look, you said that, I took the zoom off. I was like, okay, maybe she don't really see that forehead. So,
it's right there. It's it's my battle scar that I love and I take a lot of pride in.
We call them beauty scars too, so you can give it a better name. But go ahead.
I can give it a better name. Yeah. So I'm so familiar with having had that physical interaction with them. But yeah, they definitely do make physical contact.
I think that's some serious stuff here when it gets down to that. Hang on a second here. Very serious. If you hear walking and some ghost is going to push you down the stairs and everything else. Dr. Karras, I hear you on a Clubhouse and you are patched in through YouTube. You got Marie Jackson here, the ghost hunter. So you got a lot of loud background there. So are you in your she said or no? Doc, can you hear me?
Yep, I just got on. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we hear you loud and clear. So tell us what happened real quick about and then y'all, what kind of investigation were you doing to have a ghost to push you somewhere?
I got together in a team and have been investigating for probably 6 to 8 years. We would get actual evidence on a voice recorder with names, sounds. I have a very strange name. My name is Karras, and I would have my name said on recorders. Karras, Karras, Karras. So,
yeah.
So we would go to people's homes who were afraid, and we would try to find out, why things were happening. And a lot of the times, the kids or the adults thought it would be a fun game to pull out a Ouija board and figured out that some of the kind of crazy hecticness was happening within the house because there was a Ouija board that was being played. And so I would walk down the stairs and I literally, it was halfway down the stairs. It wasn't a feeling of getting shoved up into the air. It was a feeling like I was holding the railing and like it became like slick. And all of a sudden my feet the stairs turned to air and I went, whoo, straight down. It was so odd.
Oh, wow.
Friends of mine.
I don't know about all that. I think, Doc, I don't know. See, this is the kind of stuff that, if that was me and something's shoving me down the stairs, it won't never get a second chance.
Oh.
It's not happening. And I don't get it. We're going to talk about some UFOs in a minute, but I'm saying that just can't happen. And I don't get it. How do you even go back to a place, go back up the stairs? Or you just don't, just say, you know what, it's on. It's on. I'm going to burn the house down with you.
Does it burn the house down?
I mean, you just start from scratch. You just start from scratch.
You've got to figure out, is it somebody that is following the human being?
It could be.
It may not be the house.
Whoa.
It might not be the house.
No. Hold on. Following the human being. What do you mean? It's like somebody got ghosts attached to them?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So you saying if I get married again, my new wife could possibly have a ghost in my bedroom at night?
It depends upon the karma that you still have to work out and the forgiveness that's there.
See, this is why you got to boil people and check their credit. Those two things.
You just said boil.
You got to boil them first. And check the credit.
Oh, man.
And say, you know what, them two things is the deal. Because I said if somebody's going to be in my life talking about, oh, baby, we got a ghost, and he's been around me since I was, 8. Shit, well, you should have married his ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no threesome like that. I mean, that's not the one that we want. So, I don't know.
It's curious. I think it's also what keeps us coming back, even after we've had those encounters like that. People are like, how do you keep doing this? And you've been exposed to so much. But the idea of wanting to know a different version of life's truth keeps me coming back. I know that there's things out there that are different from what I was taught when I was younger. And having these encounters and experiences, it's like a light bulb of opportunity for me to continue to find out new versions of truth. And just to continue to indulge myself in investigations, Because I know there's more than what we're told. There's so much more to life than what we are just spilled out in the beginning of our lives.
I know, but I don't think it's all the adventure of all. That's some scary stuff. You know,
It,
it's
yeah,
you know what I'm
it
saying
can
too.
be.
If, you know, you got some problems with that, and here's someone says Ghost Crusaders. Okay, that's their name. And said if
Yeah.
Hunter invited you to investigate a location, would you go? If who's the hunter? Maybe they're talking about if you invited me, would I go? And
So if I invited you,
yeah, I'm hoping that's what they mean. If it is,
the ghost hunter invited the
why the big secret?
ufologist,
Would I go? Would I go?
would you go?
Hell no. No, I mean, for
Would you
what?
To
Because you already
discover.
said that they can follow you home. I don't
They
need.
can.
I don't on foot because I'm gonna be driving fast, right? So
So,
they cannot.
yeah.
It cannot be happening that way. So,
Oh,
and okay, I'm not making fun of anybody who have a ghost at your house. So if you're on an audience, you have a ghost in your house, we definitely want to hear about it. But you know, when it comes down, even like the oh, okay, yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what it meant. All right, you know where I would probably go. I would go.
if you're with me, would
I'm
you
with
go?
you. I would go, but see, here's the deal. We're gonna work on this disclaimer right now. I know I'm a man. A man is supposed to be a protector, but I'm gonna have to get those requirements have to be out the window.
They're null and void
They're
in this situation.
null and void. Don't the expectations of you saying jump in front, something is coming.
Save me.
It's not happening.
It's not.
Because somebody got to be a hero. Somebody got to be a hero. Somebody got to tell a story. And I'm a storyteller, and I would like to say how brave you were.
Oh.
Yeah, and how you talking to the children, everybody. You know, she was brave. You should have seen her. She fought like hell. She gave that ghost some stuff. You know, and and I had to go make sure I secured the getaway vehicle. So
somebody's got to tell the story.
All right, so we got some people saying, all right, so let me bring up another story here real quick. I see I have a black friend, so I take that the Ghost Crusader is white. I have a black friend from Philly that made fun of me for being a paranormal investigator. And when I asked him to go with me, he said, hell no. So listen, he didn't make fun of you. He really didn't. He was giving you a serious answer, hell no. But here's the deal. And this is why we hear Ghost Crusaders. If you're watching on Clubhouse, we have a question here on the screen here from someone on the YouTube community or listening from Clubhouse. But the whole point I'm trying to say is we got to have some humor in it. So if you get someone, your black friend was laughing and did say hell no, they were serious. You better believe it.
It
was all of the, you know. And Nicole says she's black and she's from Philly. So let me put another question up here. Steph says, is there a risk of bringing a ghost into your house if you buy antiques? Oh shit. And have you ever been on any ghost hunts that turn out to be hoaxes?
Ooh.
Well, first,
let me answer that first question.
Yeah, shit, some antiques. I mean, because you're thinking of some old stuff.
Yeah.
And here you are, you don't found the box, and then all of a sudden you bring Captain Jack into the house, you know, who was a sailor and pirate out there with one eye and a leg, and you hear him doom, you know, because he got the peg leg. You know what I'm saying? And you know, bought his dresser back from 1800s. So is that possible? Do a spirit go with his items?
It very well can. It very well can be attached to an object, and how that attachment synchronizing is still something I'm learning and getting additional insight on. But have there been objects that can actually be haunted? Absolutely.
But how's it possible though? I mean, are they spirit in? I mean, for example, for a true example, I bought this little thing off the Craigslist, and is it possible that they got a ghost in a house? Hang on, we have to know. Doc, were you saying something or?
Well, I was gonna say that there can be kind of like a magnetic wanting of that from a spiritual person that no longer lives here. Yes.
Wow. Okay then. So, all right, Marie. So, why didn't he go with the blender? Why he had to come with my furniture?
Well, he could have went with the blender too. If you guys are familiar with, if you guys are familiar with Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're very, very notorious for Lorraine is a medium, and she would go and do investigations to some very severely haunted cases. And what they would do was take specific objects that they felt were haunted or were like a conduit to a specific ghost or energy, and they would take it away from the family and store it in their basement and lock it because they felt that it was tied to some things. And there could be so many different reasons why a specific energy form is attracted to a specific device. Maybe like a little girl, if that little girl had that doll and that doll was something very near and dear to her, and she was very attached to it, her spirit might attach itself to that particular doll because that is the most common known object that they were familiar with in their other form. So, but there's so much research that is still being compiled to give a definitive answer on that. But there have been objects that have been known to be haunted. I did an investigation. Some of you may be familiar with Sam and Kobe. They're very notorious for doing investigations in all haunted locations. And we went out to the Sally House.
Okay.
And Sally House is in Atchison, Kansas. And it is very well known for being, Sally is allegedly a little girl that went through this botched surgery and ended up dying on the surgery table inside of this house. That's the story behind it. However, they believe that some of the objects inside of this room upstairs that they preserved were haunted. They believe that some of these dolls were haunted, so they continue to keep it in this room. So when I went to do the investigation, they took me into this closet where a lot of dolls were, and I turned on my my EMF reader. It's actually a radiation detector, and I turned on my radiation detector, and I took it around to all the dolls, and one doll read such high levels. And this doll didn't have any type of electro components in it or any type of wires. It didn't have any type of battery operated components in it. It was just a regular stuffed doll. And that reading read so high to where we took the doll to all different parts of the house, and it was still reading very, very high on this particular doll. So we believe that doll was probably one of her favorite dolls to play with, or there may have been some type of transfer of energy connection or form that connected to that particular doll.
Well, see, I the whole thing was, is there a link between UFOs and ghosts? But you just kind of gave me a sniff to go hunt, because most of the UFOs, and if we go out to a place, we're going to do radiation detection anyway. So could there have been an alien that was holding the doll, transfer radiation to the doll, and was still there, but they had an alien that visited them through the night?
Oh, that's a good discussion, because I am not tapped into that ufology world, and that's interesting. Because are aliens, are they composed of energy? Like, what are they known for being made of? Because I know they can go through windows and transport in different, speeds of light. Like, can you elaborate on how that would?
Well, here's the deal. I have friends here that speak in the higher dimensions and consciousness of these things. And for me, I think the whole point is that there are just so many, this rabbit hole is deep, okay? So from a UFO investigator, we're thinking about what's flying around and, is it real? Who's driving it? Where did they come from? And then you have, and it also challenge the thoughts of, okay, why use a UFO when you can just come through the wall, right?
Yeah.
And so now, Anthony, my man from Canadian Awareness, he's been here on the show. And he channels reptilians, and they have the ability in the higher dimension to walk right into you. The only problem is we don't see at that vibration level, so therefore most times they're standing there, we wouldn't know. So, but what it all boils down to me, and to get into your question of that, is that there's just so much. This thing is beyond us just humans. There's just so much going on. See, you got a ghost, really. You really do. You have a ghost. I'm
It's
serious.
leveled. It's just keep tossing and turning on me. Sorry.
But I see a shadow. I see a shadow.
Did you see that shadow?
Yeah. Well, he went to the other way. But yeah, look, I'm talking about he. It could have been a she, could be a gorilla, it could be anything.
Summoning something.
Yeah, but the whole point, I think, I try to look at it from, even now, my job is more factual evidence, something that people can see, something they can read, things to just awaken their curiosity that we're not here alone in the universe, because I want to keep things as basic to those people who says, are UFOs real, period, or what are they? Are we alone in the universe? And so now I'm starting to, just by talking to you, it ain't got shit to do with the universe. They already here. Stuff is here.
Yeah.
And it's walking among us, and it's got those things, and that's the stuff that you walk around. And I tell you right now, I am live streaming from the command center in Dallas. And if we're talking where I'm talking right now, and if I hear something says, get out, I'm offline with y'all. I'm telling you, it's not even, y'all just heard a ghost. I mean, let me call it. I ain't calling no ghost hunter. It don't matter. I'm not going to be, I'm not coming back. I'm not going, it doesn't matter. The office is shut down. The electricity will be cut off. The water, I'm going to starve the ghost.
Everything.
He will not flush another toilet. He won't. It's hot in hell in Texas, so I'm gonna cut the air conditioner off. He gonna go pack his bags or move somewhere else, and then hopefully I'll see a sign and I'll come back. I don't know, but the whole point is that is just so much when it comes down to this. And so even when we get into the UFOs, there are people that do when you have abductions or you have all of these things, it still affect people. But I think at the end of the day, I can't concur to say the extraterrestrials that's flying around in the spacecraft are the same ones that can travel interdimensionally, because now we're seeing orbs, we're seeing all these different things as UFOs versus the flying saucer, right? And so this whole thing is advancing before our eyes. And so apparently it's just a deep, and we're going to have different guests on here. We're going to have a lot of people who can go deeper into those questions, because I still got a lot of curiosity and some answers I have, but some days. Let me look into the chat here, and we see there's a house that really wanted to investigate, but the family doesn't want to participate. Okay, let me put this up right here. She says that in Mystical Being, apparently, I don't know if she's from Kansas City, but she gave you a shout out earlier. Casey. Yeah. And so she says there is a house that I really want to investigate. So she's an investigator. All right. So Mystical, okay. But the family doesn't want to participate. The previous entire family was murdered by one of the teenagers. Okay, right there. Let me stop. That is not even, and Mystical, please let me know if they are living there and they knew that story, that information. Because here's the deal. Who moves into the house? And, of course, I know, we'll talk about the satanic panic. Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about that, in a minute. But who moves in a house knowing the teenager? Now, okay, don't get me wrong. If the teenager is still alive and everybody else is dead, okay, then the most evil one is locked up. Okay, I'm okay with that. He needs to be locked up. Throw away the key. But if everybody else is still hanging on in the crib, then we need to really have a conversation. So I'm gonna call in the poltergeist lady, especially if something's happening with the TV, all that stuff, because you just and regardless, I wouldn't even buy the house anyway. So, wait a minute. She said, see, now that's the problem. She goes, she says that, she imagined there will be nothing happening. Now you might bring something back. And she said the family has been told that they put him to death. See, now that's the problem. You got to let him live for a while. Now he's I don't know. So we ain't going to go into that. But
so Mystical, what state is their house in?
Okay, Mystical, yeah. So she want to know what state there was house in. But I don't know. So let me ask you a question. Since you believe in ghosts, I mean, do you believe in UFOs?
Do I believe in UFOs?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Absolutely.
I often say you paused a little too long for that. Okay.
Well, I wanted to kind of allude you guys to the fact that yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I believe in UFOs, and I've actually, in my younger age, I had an encounter with what I believe was a UFO. And we were outside playing, and I was about 11 years old, and this circular object, it just didn't look like a normal plane. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
look like anything I was familiar with seeing. It levitated over us, and it was cloudy, and it was just levitating there. And then it just took off and just disappeared and vanished in the air. Just vanished. And it was like
Wow.
5 of us outside. So I definitely believe in UFOs and extraterrestrials and their existence. You know, there's so many things. I think about life like this. You know, there's so many different creatures that we don't even know exist. There's thousands of different types of creatures and amphibians and animals that we have yet to have even discovered. We're just now discovering all of these different things, and they're just now coming out. So if these things can exist, then why come extraterrestrials can't be a possibility?
Okay, we good. Mystical says she stays in Lathrop, Missouri. If I said that right, Lathr.
Lathrop, Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're in Missouri, more than likely, if they moved into that house, they may have not known about the history
Because of the laws.
because of the law. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that is the satanic what is it?
Well, the law in Missouri is a statute they enacted called the Psychologically Impacted Property Statute.
No.
And that keeps the homeowners and those who are trying to sell their properties or rent their properties or lease their properties from having to tell the new tenant or the new owner about the history of the house.
Wow.
So, yeah, Missouri's got this really strict law that protects these people. You know, it's all economics. It's all financial.
Okay,
And it changed in 91. It changed because of the influx of reports.
All right, so I'm gonna take now that the audience know you, they know who you are, and I know you a bit, so I'm gonna change the tone here just a little bit. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so you're a beautiful woman, you know this, and how does it work if a man with you and you turn around and tell him, I see dead people? You know, I mean, does the beauty take over where he's like, well, shit, I'm still hanging there, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Or is there a limit to where he's like, my ass is out?
Yeah.
And don't ask me what I would do because I'm your friend and I want to keep that a secret because but just from experiences.
Yeah, just from recent experiences. It's not something I have a discussion about immediately. You know,
Okay.
I just kind of feel them out and just see where their mind is as far as their life, their careers, their interests. And I kind of like just drop, little breadcrumbs to see if they pick up on certain things that I'm looking for in a relationship. And then if I just really see that the tone is really not going anywhere, I just come out and tell them and just see what their immediate reaction is. But it's difficult for me having a relationship.
It ain't for you because Mystical says my experience most of the time they are running. So she's a ghost hunter. She says so when she tells men that. I mean, could you think? I mean, but you got to pick the right time to tell a guy. So you got there is a time that you could tell him that it won't faze him. But at the end of the day, if you get to a point where you're in the kitchen and you cooking breakfast and you turn and say you want some eggs and he says yes and you say I'm not talking to you. and he looks around like, well, shit, who else is here? But when he see you crack the second egg, you serious. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, I definitely probably wouldn't take an interest in feeding the ghost. Okay. But it's different. It's different. If somebody's interested in doing certain things in their life that you particularly, are not vested in or comfortable with, you try to bypass your own emotional disposition about it and look at that individual as, you know, a human. Okay, this person, they connect with me on these other levels. I could possibly get over this as long as I don't feel it's going to interfere with me and my other religious elements or faith that I might have, but it's been a challenge, and I've kind of steered clear of dating because it's such a touchy thing for me, and me having ignited so fast with being presented to everyone as this Black paranormal investigator, and it's still touchy for a lot of Black people with us kind of like getting rid of the stigmas and actually having this conversation. So it's still a touchy situation. So I'm filling it out right now. I'm filling out the world before I
see. Someone else, Ghost Crusader says, when I tell a woman I'm dating a woman that, okay, so Ghost, I don't know if you're male or female. You know what time of day we're in. So I'm just going to say you telling a woman, and you could be a woman or a man. So when I tell a woman I'm dating, most of the time they find it interesting whether they believe in spirits or not. And then, of course, Mystical said, I'm pretty upfront from the get-go just to weed out the ones who are non-believers. But here's the deal. Everybody's talking like y'all single, all of you, So there may be a problem here. Everybody, because y'all not saying my man and I have got along with the story. Everybody's talking about when I meet people up front, when I do this, I tell them and all. So all this like past tense stuff, And so, and I thought we had it bad in ufology, because you can't tell people you've been abducted these days or I've seen a UFO. And because I grew up in the neighborhood, you're not. So I'm just reading one of the posts here. She says, also, I'm single too. So there we go.
I just want to know, like, how many people are like in this industry and single right now? Like, comments. We really want to know who's single right now.
Okay, well, someone has said it's hard to date when you're a human lie detector. Golly, that is so funny, man. And ditto. Ditto. That's what goes. That. How old are you? You're not old enough. We don't have to tell everybody, but you may not be old enough to know the word ditto came from the movie Ghost.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, I love that movie.
I love it. Why not? Shit, what am I thinking? All right, you're a ghost person, so you've seen all the movies. You have to.
I've seen so many movies. I'm a movie buff.
Yeah. Well, you're a movie buff. So, yeah, in ufology, it's the same thing. We have those issues where if you've seen a UFO, I grew up in a neighborhood where even a bully wouldn't have told the story that they've seen a UFO. And for those of you who listen on Clubhouse, I want to thank you. We're live streaming from YouTube. If you want to come in and see, you can definitely hop up there's a link at the top of the Clubhouse app. You're welcome to click it. It'll bring you straight over to YouTube. But if you are finding value, or if you're watching us right now and you have not smash the like button on this video, please go ahead and do that. If you have not, post a comment, you can. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you haven't, please do. We're broadcasting live, Why the Big Secret, here on YouTube. I'm with Marie Jackson here. She is a ghost hunter, a certified ghost hunter, the real deal, in Kansas City. And she's, just finished doing a film that was going to be on one of the TV stations. We don't know which one yet, but when that comes out, we are going to support it and everything. And I know I've been making this like an interview. We're going to talk about some UFO stuff too, because we're going to be doing this every Thursday, and we're going to cover topics that will bring people up with stories and everything else. And so they're going to get a kick out of it. But my thing right now is just to kind of get people to know who you are, if my audience don't. And at the same time to, start setting the groundwork that people know that you and I, we're going to laugh about this stuff. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great there and everything else. Someone says one of their great lines was, Molly, you in danger, girl.
Molly, you in danger, girl. I love it.
Yeah. They said that right now. That's what came across the top. Molly, you in danger.
You in danger, girl.
Yeah.
And then ditto was something that Demi Moore, she would say. No. Flip it. It was the boyfriend.
Swayze? Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick Swayze. He would say it because it was hard for him to tell her I love you.
Yeah, he would say ditto. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
I did that one time with a girl. I told her ditto, and she looked at my ass like I was crazy. She was like, what you talking about? I said, ditto.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
you talking about?
and but that's when you know you're not connected, and you think,
Yeah.
hopefully she would have laughed and something, and I know this is on. We can talk. She just looked
Yeah.
at me like, ditto. What is ditto?
Ditto.
What is ditto?
Where are you going with that?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so we're not gonna do that. So, all right. So, what do you think now these days? We're talking about the government is now telling people that there are UFOs, and we got all these congressional hearings. There's an official UFO office. So they're not telling people they're ghosts, but they're now saying we got UFOs. So do you all feel left out, or what do you think about that now that we're now going toward? We can't say we're getting a lot of disclosure because we're not getting it, but at the same time, we got UFOs, we got extraterrestrial things. The government is now saying this, and if there was a possibility, and I think we're heading in a direction someday, extraterrestrial is going to reveal themselves. And so what happens to the ghost stories if now we got real live ETs walking around here,
Yeah, it's like how do those two interchange? Where does the optics get pointed now? When these other beings start surfacing and becoming more visible and active. Like what happens to this other realm? And it's so interesting to see how these two different paradigms start collaborating and to figure out these links that might actually exist, because I definitely believe there's some type of conduit to each other that possibly exists with the paranormal, with ufology, and the
it
bridging
is,
of
and it goes something like this. That's the connection.
That's connection.
That is the connection. Period.
It's so interesting, and like you said, they're not saying that they exist, and I guess that's a good step forward, but they're not disclosing everything in more details to really make us understand, like, okay, you know what? This is a new norm we're going to have to get familiar with. This is just a new version of life that we're going to have to learn to accept.
Okay, I'm with you. So I grew up watching Casper the Friendly Ghost. And I don't know who made the movie, but they had some mean ghosts in there too, and Casper was the young friendly ghost. And of course, the love story of that, he came back and he was able to have just one date, with the girl and, all of that stuff. But I don't understand, if that's possible. You got Casper, he's just zooming in and out, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm going to touch on a subject and hope I don't offend anyone, but growing up black, okay, that stuff is a whole different ball game. Yeah. And because we used to hear, okay, that house down the street was haunted. Ain't nobody going in there. Ain't nobody saying I'm gonna be the future of this. You walk all the way around. The grass don't get cut. Nobody. If they even put a sign up, $10, cut my grass. Ain't nobody doing it. Even though we broke $10 was a lot of money. Yeah. And we had one of those houses. And then there was this dare, okay, who's going to go in and who don't. And so where I'm going with this is, as this phenomenon goes with ghosts, we got UFOs, we got extraterrestrials, we got inner beings, we got, Bigfoot, we got the Chewbacca thing or Chupacabra or whatever. We have all of this stuff, and it just doesn't make sense to me that we still got people thinking there's no higher force at work. There's no possibilities of what's going on, but yet we see them in the movies, we see them in the TVs, and all of these things. So what exactly is going on?
Yeah, most of this, the TVs, the movies, the shows that they put out, even in the earlier days, Poltergeist and Conjuring.
Now that was a serious thing. I was young when Poltergeist wasn't no joke.
Yeah, Poltergeist was very similar to what happened to my family growing up.
What, walk into the light? Y'all had that?
With Poltergeist, yeah.
Where somebody said walk into the light, you came through the damn light sockets and stuff?
It
Uh-oh, so we lost Marie. All right, so hopefully her phone gets back in. All right, so how we doing, everyone? So her phone clicked out, so she'll probably jump back into the stream in just a minute. So anyway, what do y'all think so far? Maria and I are going to be doing this on Thursday nights a lot, and so therefore we're going to be covering the UFO stories and a lot of stuff in there, and pretty much. So I didn't bring you guys up to speed on what's happening in the news today. We'll definitely do that, but at the meantime, we'll wait until she plugs her phone back up or whatever the disconnection is, and get her back into the live stream from there. So, but in the meantime, if you're here for the first time and you're in Clubhouse, I'm Roderick Martin. We're hosting from YouTube, Why the Big Secret. If you didn't know, I'm a UFO investigator with MUFON. Marie is a ghost hunter, and we think there's a connection between the two. And so that was some of the things we're going to be talking about in the second part of the hour tonight. But her phone just went dead, so we'll definitely hope we can get her back from there. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some UFO talks, anything else. If you've had an experience and you've been out there or you've seen a UFO, I want to hear about it, because we eventually want to talk about it. But in the meantime, I think it's more what is happening today when it comes down to it. There's another story that surfaced that NASA, once again, is going to be involved in the UFO hunt. And you think they would already know this stuff, right? So it doesn't make any sense that they want to now claim that they're going to be trying to figure this out. And then if they do, we will find out what is going on there. So I think this whole thing is really, the challenge of it all is that we are needing to find out what's really happening in this particular space. And then when you got people like Marie, who says you can walk into a house and you can feel the energy, and then at the same time we see these orbs and we see all of these things, there's got to be some connection to this. And if not, then the world is bigger, or are we truly living in the Matrix, if that's what they're saying from there. And who knows what's going on. And so I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those things that we need to find out some stuff, and it's pretty important when it comes down to that. I think one of the most important parts of it all is to try to understand. Yeah, Nicole said it's more the consciousness aspect of things, and I think it is. I think it just really goes deep into all of those aspects when we look around to try to find out what is happening out here. So if you experience something, a ghost, and you got questions when she get back, you definitely want to, we'll answer some of those questions. But, at the end of the day, what do you do, man? What do you do if you walk into the damn house and you start hearing stuff, throwing stuff around, and, noises, and something walking by, and you sleep at night, and you just bought the house. You just closed on this deal. It's your dream home, and you done spent your life saving up for the closing cost, and, do you move out this thing? And me, it's for sale, period. We're going to take a loss. We're going to take a loss. I'm gone. But I still get it. As you see, there's a difference between how people culturally attack these things, and you want to go find out who it was, what was their problem, why they haven't moved over to the other side, and all of that. But at the end, I'm like, I don't care. I want you out of my house, and they want me out of their house, and they don't own it no more. And so, do you just go to sleep there? So I think it's one of those things when it comes back there. So, all right, we see you. You bet.
Okay.
I'm telling you, there is a freaking ghost. Where you at?
My apologies to everyone for disconnecting. So I've been having some my phone's been falling. I've been having some technical issues. So my apologies for that, you guys.
Well, see, here's the deal. That's one of these things. We just talked about it. There might be a ghost messing with your phones.
That's a good point, Ashley.
You know what I'm saying? That will be that could be some of that.
That's a really good point. And a lot of the ones who are on the stream, who are listening and watching, if you've done investigations, you've probably had some of your equipment, like your cameras, your batteries, your cell phones. Whenever you go into a known haunted location, it drains your battery. I want to know how many people who have actually had that experience, because that happens to me anytime I do an investigation. All of my equipment is drained. So I have to take a backup batteries with me just to make sure I'm able to capture the content. But it happens a whole lot.
Wow. Someone said they was telling a story here, and they're like, I didn't get the other part of the story, but after they went to Sally house, I had a terrible dream about my grandfather in a wheelchair and an explosion of some other shit, and all it happened on my drive back home from Sally house.
Oh, wow. Wow. When did you go to the Sally house?
Oh, so there is a place.
Yes.
See.
It's in Atchison, Kansas, the Sally house.
So, Ghost Crusader, let me make sure I heard this right. You went to the Sally house. He got a heart attack 4 months later. She said, good Lord, damn. And she was like, all right, hang on. I'm going to come back to this. I got somebody just put up. Antoine says, I'm an alien. So, Antoine, if you're an alien, then where you from? And tell us all about it in the text and what it's like to be an alien. Now, how about that? We want to hear that. But
oh, yes.
So there is a place called a Sally house that people go to?
Yes.
For what?
Yeah, a lot of investigators go there to do and conduct paranormal investigations. It is open to the public. There's representatives you can reach out to schedule a tour of the Sally house. Mm-hmm. It is known to be one of the most haunted houses in that area. It's in Atchison, Kansas, and yeah, it gets a lot of traffic. So you can take tours of the Sally house. No one lives there. It's definitely unoccupied by humans.
And see, and that's my concern. By humans, they live there and they letting people in their house. Oh, okay.
No people live there.
All right. So Anton, hit me on the back of the email. Is contact@ythebigsecret.com. He says an alien. He don't want to talk about it here. So obviously you're an alien. You know about technology. So use the email. Contact me from there. So once again, we have a place where people go knowing there's an issue there. But y'all walk in there.
Walk in.
And even though the person who came out before you got issues, and you know if you walk in there and everybody who's coming out getting issues, but you still go in there?
Yeah. And like I said, it's just the thrill for me of knowing that I'm encountering a different version of truth. And not everyone's experience has always been the same. I sometimes think that there's a little bit of a cross between the psychological component of a person's mindset, and then, when they're actually going into these particular known haunted locations, it also depends on your mental strength, your psychological mindset. And ultimately, everyone has to have faith in something. So one person's experience might be different. It just depends on that energy form and how it is, how it connects to that individual. It might be more connected to one individual than the other individual, and might cause more disruption for this person than for another person because their mental state is stronger. And I did have an experience in the Sally house, and it was very difficult for me. I started sweating and I got extremely bad headaches, and I literally was about to pass out in the house. It's in the Sally house. And it started when me and the crew went downstairs into the basement, and in the basement there used to be a ring 6-point star on the floor. They kind of got rid of it, but you can still see the remnants of the circle. And after I left that basement, I was completely disoriented. So I can relate to that one viewer who said that they had some complications after they left the Sally house.
Well, she sure did. She said also, when I went home, it's up on the screen here. When I went home and went to bed, I swear to God, she says, I was in a deep sleep. So she was sleeping, dreaming at this point, deep sleep. And she felt a hand that grabbed her leg around her ankle while she was in a deep sleep, lift up and slam down on my bed. And she woke up the next morning. I don't know what you did, Ghost Hunter, but I tell you what, see, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Now, see, now I get it. Now, so it's really helping me understand some of the people in ufology that are really affected by seeing a UFO or being, abducted or contacted in the middle of the night and all this stuff. But believe me, regardless to the fact, you got something out there grabbing your legs, slamming you up and down to the bed, there's some shit you just move. You just have to let them have it. But if it's following you around, now you're talking The Exorcist. You remember that movie and stuff? And, with the girl where her neck spin all around and, and you still, that's my daughter. And so I'm going to, make sure it's just kind of one of those things. So someone else says, let me see here. Then I got a couple of questions for you. So someone named Yosef Elbey says, UFOs are really interesting, but when I was 6 years old, I had an encounter and I had missing time. Plus, I returned in the wrong room in my house. Okay, so in this case, he returned in the wrong room in his house. Now, okay, so, we get that a lot in ufology, missing time. In fact, the government, did some reports recently that we had pregnancies now. People being pregnant by aliens and extraterrestrials.
Ooh.
So, but you ain't never had no ghost pregnancies, all right?
No ghost pregnancies.
All right, so we good there. So we got, pregnancies. We got radiation burns. You ain't had that, no ghost burning people except for the fire, right?
There have been ghosts. Yeah, there have been ghosts that have been known to actually inflict physical fire to people and burn them, have burns all over them, just ignite fire on them.
Are you serious?
Yes.
All right, hang on a minute. So you're saying that you can be walking in your house and then your shirt just catch on fire because a ghost done lit you up?
Yes. Or they've made physical contact with you and caused your skin to start burning as if you had some type of acid base put on your body. And those are those energy level 4s which some people would consider them to be the more demonic and the more physically interactive with the humans. But they have been known to inflict physical fire harm on people.
No, that's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, it's really, really. I'm like starting to wonder over here now. So anyway, if you're watching or you're listening to us on Clubhouse, we are streaming live from YouTube. Just Why the Big Secret. I'm here with Marie Jackson. She is a ghost hunter, and I am a UFO investigator. And we're going to be doing this every Thursday. We'll start having some guests here with us. Well, we're going to see there's some links between the paranormal, the ghost side of things, with the UFO sides, because they all seem to be having some interdimensional things, and we definitely can see that, and they're still scaring the hell out of some people. And like, I'm scared now listening to her story, and she don't want to come over here and mess with no aliens on my end. And so it's just one of those things that, are we crazy? Let me ask you that. Is somebody just really, do your family, how do you get along with your family? Do they think you crazy because you go out and you hunt for ghosts? Like, some people are going to go hunt for some wild chickens, or they're going to go out and fish, or they're going to go out and, you know what I'm saying? You tell somebody, where you going today? Well, I'm fit to go to the park and shoot some ball, and then you say, well, I'm fit to go look for a ghost over here at 2020 Butterbean Street,
Yeah. It's so funny. I have a hat that I wear called I'd Rather Be Ghost Hunting. And I wear it so much more confidently now because, it was a very touchy conversation to have with friends and family. Even though my family and I grew up in a haunted house, in a haunted setting, and had these physical interactions with ghosts, I was the one that continued to adopt and want to investigate and learn more about this field. So when I came to them and let them know, hey, I'm going to go do some investigation to find out what happened to us back in that house and get some more insight on what took place, I kind of got the side eye from a lot of people, like, what are you doing? Why are you chasing something that doesn't, if it's not bothering you, don't go bothering it.
Right.
That's what I heard. But it's like a sport for me now. I have to know more about it because of all the experiences that I've had with it. I need to know more. It was difficult. I didn't break it to my girlfriend, and we've been best friends since I was in 3rd grade. I didn't break it to her that I was an investigator until a year ago, and I've been doing investigations for over 4 years. But I didn't break it to her until then, and the ones that I really wanted to get through to the most over anybody was my kids.
Okay.
And I felt like if they were able to accept me and accept what I do and accept my past, then everything else, everybody else, hey, you guys are secondary. My kids.
Yeah, but again, this is your best friend, and if your best
Yeah.
friend's supposed to know everything about you, so
And tell.
why would you not tell them? And no,
Ooh.
no, no, no. Wait a minute. Why the big secret?
Oh my gosh. Okay. See, we were sworn to secrecy when we were kids. My
Mm.
father would not let us talk about anything that happened in the house. We had a golden rule. Nobody knows what took place. So when my father passed away in 2016, I felt as if this is the opportunity for me to speak. I don't have a muzzle over my mouth anymore. I don't feel like I cannot be free with telling people what I'm interested in knowing more about. So that's kind of what opened up the gateway for me to want to be an investigator. So everything after that, it just was like, it was baby steps. My best friend, she never knew anything about it. She didn't even know I knew how to, I could see ghosts. She had no idea. She had no idea. And it's so funny because I there's a story with me going to a birthday party, and then I'm looking at this ghost.
Now, how old were you?
And I was 11
Okay.
and a half. And we went to a birthday party, and I'm sitting here staring at this ghost, and it's taking this balloon across the floor. And I'm watching it, and the girl's like, "What are you staring at?" And I'm just like, "Nothing." Having to
Yeah, but
play
did they
that
see the
role.
balloon move? Because the balloon is in real dimension,
They're
right?
thinking that it's just floating because it's a balloon. They're
Oh.
not realizing it's being pulled by an individual. And how can I have that conversation? They're going to think I was crazy. I didn't want to be labeled. I didn't want to be judged and ridiculed for what I was able to see and feel and what I experienced in my past. So I held it all in, just like my father told me, until I just couldn't do it anymore.
Ghost Crusaders is posting a story. She said, or he, what she said. What was the mail, right? Okay. If I got it wrong, Ghost, let me know. Crusader said that my dad once sent me a voice message on my phone after he found out I was a ghost hunter, and when I played it, it said, "Clean your room, clean your room." Mine. She was 29 at the time, so I'm thinking that's kind of funny. All right, so it's one of those deals. So I don't know, and so what happens in those scenarios where people making fun or I don't know. I think it's just funny. I probably would have did that too. I probably like clean your room. I don't know. All right, so Ghost Crusaders is a man. It's a man.
Can you hear my? Can you hear me?
We can hear and we can see you. We hear you and
Okay,
see you.
hang on. Let me get my audio back on here.
Okay, you can't hear me though,
Somebody
right?
trying to call me.
Oh, so we can hear you.
Can anybody hear me yet?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, but I just can't hear you. My audio kind of kicked out, but
You don't hear me
guys
now?
can hear me. No, darn it! I'm telling you guys, these technical issues are starting to get beyond me.
It's a ghost in the house.
Let's
I'm
see.
serious.
I'm going to have to cut back out and see if I can refresh it. Hang on just a
That'll be
second.
fine.
Sorry, you guys.
That'll be fine.
So sorry about all the technical issues.
All right, so all right, Ghost Crusader, you're a man. I appreciate it. If you are in Clubhouse and you're listening to us right now, I want to thank you for being here on Why the Big Secret. We're live from YouTube. We're doing this every day from 8 to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we'll have Freaky Friday tomorrow. So definitely want to kick in on that. We're going to have some great conversations, and we're here right now with the greatness of Marie Jackson, and she is a ghost hunter, and so we'll definitely getting her. She's getting her audio and all that stuff tracked up. If you hadn't had an opportunity, I want you to hit a thumbs up. If everybody here, we should at least have a bunch of thumbs up, 20, 30, 40 thumbs already. I haven't looked up on the video yet, but hopefully we can do that so that YouTube, like I say, could literally know what's happening with that. So let me bring you back in here. All right, so there we go. Pause.
Let me know if you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah. So all right. So let me. All right. So we can hear you. You hear me?
I can hear everybody. Yes.
All right. So we're all good there. So All right. So again, if you hear, and once again, one of the things that we're doing is talking about UFOs a little bit in a minute as well. We bringing it in, but we're so interested in this paranormal stuff too. But Maria and I decided that we'll join some forces here on Thursday nights, and then maybe add a few more nights, and then we'll start bringing in some guests here because I want people talking to us, asking questions, and everything right across the bat, when we do this. And so I'm just really excited, not only for your career, my career, what we're doing. So let's get into the other part about it. We Black, all right.
Yeah.
And in our community, it's one of those things of where people, we don't talk about these things. It's like taboo, all right. And hell, shit, I think I've told my story before. I was in a marriage, and I wasn't talking about UFOs in the house. She just didn't want to hear it. And I get it today culturally. It's just something that, wasn't something that she was feeling and felt there was a conversation. But it did, in some cases for me, sometimes that I really wanted to talk about these things, it just wasn't going to happen. So, I don't know about everyone else, but, let's break this down on a cultural sense. Why is our community one of these people that, we just don't take some of these things? And although our culture says that we deal with spirits and stuff, hell, we pray to the ancestors, so what's the problem?
Yeah, and that's the number one question I get a lot. Why is it that most Black people are not heavily involved in this type of investigative research, or really believe in it, or have a dispersed perspective of faith in it? I found that a lot of people have this perception of dealing with this realm as being a weak-minded individual, and they feel as if that as a Black culture we've developed this external strength to not have to deal with these type of paradigms, to where when we are engaging in it, we're kind of inviting it into our world, and it's making us weak as a unit. So you'll see more Black people not engage in it, not acknowledge it, not accept it, because we built this barrier around us to protect us from this identity of weakness. And you see more other cultures more heavily involved in it. Or you'll see different, Western cultures, or even, those people in the South, in Louisiana, they adopt more of the voodoo, and they adopt more of that spiritual, ritualistic style of belief. But just a traditional Black person, we don't engage in it. We don't talk about it because we built this protective barrier around us to protect us and protect our identity from making us look even more weak than what we were already labeled. So, anyone that ever came to me and, was like, why are you involved in this? Is it something wrong with your family? Are you having some psychological issues? I was labeled a lot, when I got into this. And the most heat that I got was from Black people. Why other cultures, they embraced me. But the ones to get through, the ones that were the most challenging to get through were Black people. To build that.
Why is that though? I mean, it's just the stereotype, or is it fear? Is it something is it a taboo? You know what I mean? So we think the Black people are like, but is it, okay, so Muhammad says, let's put this up. He says, we were taught to fear it, which doesn't allow us to tap into the divine God that resides in us. Okay, so, all right, so I get it, what he's saying, because at this point, like I said, I grew up Christian, and I still am, and every day that, we can believe the stories of, walk on water, raise the dead, 5,000 fish, let's do all this, but we're not alone in the universe,
Yeah.
And when I started discovering that stuff and going down that rabbit hole, when I ran into Genesis, the book of Genesis in chapter 1, verse 26, let's make man in our images, in the likeness of ourselves. And I'm like, wait, man, that's plural, and, you run into other things within scripture and all of that. But so even when I was married, it was the religious side of it that kept my ex-wife at the time from, embracing the thought of the conversation, even watching the damn TV shows. She just wasn't hearing it. So I used to sneak in and watch, Ancient Aliens late at night, and then make sure I turned it off the TV. So when she turned it on, she didn't see I was watching Ancient Aliens all night, and it bothered me in the beginning, but now if I've done this and I've interviewed people and I'm on TV shows about it, I understand it has nothing to do with she didn't like what I was doing. She just didn't comprehend the story, and there was fear in it. There was you just don't talk about it, and so I think that's one of the things that we look at it. But in our community, and which is one of the things I had set out as a mission, I was like, okay, I want to talk about the UFOs and in our community, so that people can really get a grasp that there's a shift. There is some changes happening.
Yep.
There is going to be some more, disclosure in some form or fashion that's going to shock some people. And mentally, people need to be prepared for it, even in our community, when it gets down to Christianity. And no, Christianity is not just black people, but at the end of the day, it's rooted to a point that head behind me is taboo. In some cases, it's, angels, you got demons, you have all of these different segments about it, that it really changes things a lot. So for people mentally, and I just kind of one of those deals. And even personally in a relationship, here I am about to be on 7 TV shows and all of those things. And I'm still saying to myself, okay, if I meet a new significant other, how does that going to work? This is what I do. Now, I'm not in your boat where I see aliens walking down the street and, oh, by the way, he's standing right there, so I'm not there. I'm more of in the research side, but still, it's still a conversation that people don't want to have, and go through all of that. So, so it's just, I don't know. I don't know, in this case, but I think now for you though, but obviously if you walked in and investigate a black family in a ghost house and they all moving out, they all get it then, right?
They get it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's becoming a different version of normal. And, with a lot of black people, because a lot of my investigations, 70% of them have been with black people, fortunately. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that engagement with black people, so that way we could turn this stigma and this perspective of taboo on this investigative research into normalizing it. So it's normal and it's not so feared. Most of the time people fear what they don't understand. So if they don't understand a certain specific component of life, they're going to be afraid of it. And they're going to feel as if that, you being heavily involved in it is imposing on their emotional stability with whatever it is they believe in. And that can be confusing to a lot of people. And it's just a big fear that a lot of people have of not knowing. And a lot of that is surrounded by, your culture, however you were raised, and whatever religious denomination you're associated with, whatever faith that you are heavily endowed in. Those things have specific components that you are taught. So you believe specific elements of life that exist. So anything outside of that, it's like, no, wait a second here. You're introducing me to something that I was taught to ignore or to disbelieve or to, disregard. And I don't know how, I'm going to be able to correlate with you if this is, going against my faith base. So it could be a very touchy situation for some people based on their religious perspective or their cultural perspective of life.
No, I agree. Hang on a second here. I agree with you on that. I think it's one of those deals, pretty much. But to laugh about it, everything else, you watch all the movies, you see what is going on, and you see people hanging around in the houses. And same thing with UFOs. I tell people all the time, I ain't about to let no alien abduct me, take me to your ship. Let me, can I take you to the other world? Hell no. And we're not going that. I'm not going down no alley and I hear some cans and, a gray alien peeks out behind a trash can and I'm going to say, welcome to Earth and, all of that stuff. And I'm going the other way as quickly as I can, and be like, okay, fine, I'm glad you're here, dog. Do your thing, whatever. But at the same time, it seems it's gonna be common conversation pretty soon.
Yeah, it's eventually going to roll into a common conversation, common discussions about it, and it's going to be normal. It's going through its stages right now, but
Yeah.
the more you and I build these platforms and communicate and connect with those that are already in the industry of investigative research or who've had these experiences, it's going to start eventually becoming a normal topic of discussion. And it's going to be a situation to where, even though you don't want to be involved in it or want to get abducted by a UFO, at some point it's going to be like, okay, the possibility is there. So how do you avoid what is going to exist, whether you believe in it or not? You're just kind of like organizing yourself around it to, I guess, avoid encountering it, but it still exists. Like I say to everybody, ghosts are everywhere. They're not just in one designated house just because it was a murder scene or, just because this was a burial site. Ghosts are actively everywhere you go. You walk into a convenience store, there's ghosts. You sit on the bus stop, there's ghosts. They're everywhere. So there's no avoiding it. There's just some places that are much more heavily active with ghosts than others. There might be more saturation over here because this might have been a battlefield, and there might have been a lot of blood.
All right. So, okay, now it might have been a battlefield, but you're saying, all right, they all got killed over there on 9th Street because it was a battle. But then how are they hanging their ass out down here on my house when, you know what I'm saying? How did they even get over there? Do they got,
you to one spot from another, and why come that house that I lived in when I was a kid is more active than the house I'm living in now? The circumstances of the origins and the history is so different. Can they travel? Absolutely. Do they travel very, very far? Still researching that. Still researching.
See, I just don't, I don't know what to do. If I was a ghost hunter and I went to a house and I asked the most important question of it all, and that question is, how long this has been going on? And they start talking about months and years and shit. And I'm like, you still here? Why call me? You know what I'm saying? Why call me when you know it's a ghost in the house? It is. This has been going on for 2 years. He's knocking over stuff. Your chair is moving, sliding across the floor and all that. It's a ghost. It really is. You don't need to pay me to come tell you that it's a ghost.
But you know what, Roderick? That's interesting you say that, because some people know there's something going on in their home and they've been experiencing things, but they want somebody else to confirm it. Now, if they're in the home and they're able to deal with the activities that they've been experiencing and they're okay
so
with
it, you're telling me
they just want to know. They're not.
You see this thing right here, just start, and I got to have a confirmation that that's a ghost, and he just, what I'm saying, and it's just floating around, and I got to say, well, what the hell is that? What is that? Oh, baby, let's call somebody. Let's call somebody, baby.
About it.
That's unusual. Oh, honey, that's unusual.
That is.
It never did that before.
Now it's doing horizontal and vertical dances.
It's going upside down, and so I don't know. I think
and it's so many people have been putting these labels. If you see certain things or if you feel certain things or if you're experiencing certain things, you're automatically labeled, and it's a psychological component associated with it. So a lot of times people are wondering, am I crazy? Am I seeing this? If I am seeing this, is it real? And if it is real, can somebody else confirm it so I'm not labeled? And then most of the time, people just don't want to be labeled as having these psychological concerns and issues and associations. They just want to know, am I experiencing it? And a lot of people that I've done investigations with, they've experienced it, and they just said, we just wanted to know. We weren't crazy. And I said, well, you're not. You're not.
All right. So now now you done confirmed the ghost. Who do they call to get the ghost?
People contact me and they're like, hey, can you come get this? I got a ghost in my house. I think I'm really experiencing something. Can you come get this out? I'm like, No, I'm not a Ghostbuster. I don't put it in.
Oh, so
Put on a
there's
backpack.
a different category for this.
Oh yeah, there's a completely different category. I'm not a Ghostbuster. I don't come take the ghost out of your house and then go store it in some type of um, unit. I just tell you what you're experiencing, so you're not sitting there wondering if this is real or not. I'm a ghost investigator, but not a ghost capturer. I don't take it with me. Not Ed and Lorraine. I don't do that. And a lot of people get that misconception of what I do. They're like, okay, you're going to come get this thing out of here. Are you going to come sage this place or rid my home of this energy? And I don't do that. I'm just more of an identifier versus a buster.
Well, I mean, I've heard rumors of, ghosts and, artifacts, things are being hunted, little pieces of whatever. You run into that a lot where somebody say, okay, this picture frame is hunted, the frame itself,
The frame itself. Yeah, I've run into that. I had an investigation in Texas that I did in Austin, Texas. And the lady said that the eyes on the frame keep moving. And this is the only picture frame that ever has any activity. They'll come into the room and the picture frame is face down on the floor. They'll pick it up. And they said even one time the actual individual in the frame was turned upside down. And they're like, what can we do? Can you take this with you? Oh, no, I'm not taking that with me. And there's definitely something going on with it, and the historical ties to it, they purchased it at an auction. So, and it actually at an estate sale. And they just
that was one of the questions we had earlier when she said about Steph was talking about buying some antiques and then could the spirits be in the antiques?
They very well could be. And like I said before, the parapsychological research behind it is still compiling so much information. And when we hear people's testimonies and we hear them disclose the encounters that they're having and talk about what they're experiencing, it helps us kind of get more data to kind of conclude what could be the connection to why that might be happening or why it might be tied to this particular object or this particular individual. But, the testimonies are the biggest thing for us. So that way we can compile that data and kind of come to some rational, definitive conclusions. But
conclusion what? I got a ghost and my chair is flying around.
My chair is flying.
It's up on the roof. You walk in and the house is shaking. And
God, what's that movie where all the furniture is spinning around in the living room?
Yeah, I'll be like, nah, we don't have to have it. Welcome to Why the Big Secret. If you're here for the first time, you just joined us. I'm here with Marie Jackson out of Kansas City area, where she is the ghost hunter, and I'm the UFO investigator. We just having a conversation, but I'm more like interviewing her right now. But the whole point is I'm intrigued about ghost in some of the situations. And if you hear again, hit the like button. We want to get that going. Share the video on YouTube. If you're listening through us through Clubhouse, if you want to come into this conversation, click the link right up above the pinned link. It'll bring you into the live feed of YouTube, and you can kind of see and join the conversations from there as well. Also, if you want to be part of our Truth Seeker membership community, where we go behind the scenes and we all kind of research together, there is a link right here under this YouTube video, and I'll put some of the links up here right now to invite you to be a part of that. I mean, if you want to become part of what we're doing on the Truth Seeker side and just be, and support us, and you can do that. So let me try to find the other links here that I'm looking for. I don't know where they are, but so we got super chats. If you don't know what that means that if you want to, you got value and you find value in what's going on tonight, and you want to just say, hey, Roderick, here's $5, here's $10, or, I like what you're doing. I want to support the show. And I always definitely want to make sure I mention the people who are doing that. And as you will find in the future videos, even when we start live streaming starting in the next week, I will open it up, thanking all the people who chatted, super chatted, did stickers during the week, because it is you is why we're here. And at the same time, your support is definitely warranted and everything else. And so we just love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because I do have some followers, and lately they've been supporting me, Marie, and and it's been really an honor to be able to, try to provide that content for them. And and as we go down this journey, because it takes a lot, and especially trying to become one of the best sources for people. There's equipment, there's different things to have access to, stories, and just really, so our community, this particular community, will be here. And so down there, you're going to see a sticker that's streaming. These are all the ways if you want to support the show, from the Cash App to the Venmo, buy me a cup of coffee, becoming a membership. And I think I don't have my calculator with me, but I don't know what $5 divided by 30 is, or 31. So if anyone in the chat has your calculator, please divide $5 by 30. So we're going to do an average and text it, put it in the screen for me. $5 by 30. If you all can do that, and I'm going to use it in my next story right now. So, but anyway, so one of those things, I think again is just really enjoying what we do. And next I want to talk about something that I've been staring at since you've been here for 1 hour and 40 minutes. And I've been staring at this thing, and I'm looking at it, and it's right there. Okay. So 16 cents. Thank you, Mystical Being. She says 16 cents. So for 16 cents a day, and a lot of y'all got that change sitting in your cup holder. You got it sitting in your cup holder. Nicole, you said $6? Is it $6?
6.
6 cents a day?
6.
Nicole says 6, and Mystical says 16 cents.
I got 6.
A day? 6 cents is $5? No? 6 times 30 is 180. 6 cents or 60 cents? So $5 divided by 30. Joseph said, he said, man, I got to sell some crypto, and then I'll send something to your Cash App. It's a process. I love it. Okay. So he said, yeah, man, I will sell some crypto, and I will send you some money to your Cash App. I appreciate it, man. I really do.
That's a loyal person right there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he put laugh out loud. My daddy said that 32 years ago, and I haven't got no child support since. So, yeah, he was like, son, I'm going to sell some crypto, and then we're going to take care of you. So that is not happening. No. But for 16 cents a day, 16 cents a day, you can hit that link right under this YouTube video, and you're going to see where it says, buy me a coffee. Now, you can go and just say, okay, Roderick, I want to buy a cup of coffee. Here's $2, $3, $5. Or you can select the membership button for $5, and you'll be part of our Truth Seeker, our inner circle, our researchers. We're going to have a special area of special content that we're going to have there. And then eventually we're going to have our producers and executive producer circle. Those are people who's going to be, weekly we'll meet and just come up with content for our shows. And just, because I want the community to be involved, but I do know there's other channels out there that are bigger, and they've been doing it longer, but they have a huge following, and they've been able to take the financial support from those following and really get some interesting guests that do, may require some donations to their favorite charity or different things to entice them to come, and I have a whole list of them, but some of them at sometimes is not right now. I don't have enough of the following supporting. I have Nicole, I have Dorian, I got Nick Larkin, a few that are members, and then I have some people yesterday that gave, and I really appreciate them. And they may just donate a little bit, but at the end of the day, if you want to be part of this inner circle that we're going to be putting together on UFOs, paranormal, all of these things, and then so definitely you could do that. So that was my 16 cents pitch, Marie.
See, I'm gonna even add to that, because I believe in this platform so much, and as do our viewers and our listeners, and we didn't even mention the book.
That's what I'm going there, because you heard me say I've been looking at something. Look, I hope you didn't think it was the tattoo or something. I'm saying I've been looking at this for an hour, and I'm staring at it, and it's the book, and I was gonna open it up. I've been looking at the book over your shoulder, and so
Did you get the copies in the mail yet?
I have not went to my mailbox.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
So it's down the street from the office here, and since I know I don't get mail, but since you did ask for the address, but you didn't like say sent, and then I
Oh,
know to go down there. But now that you mention it, when we get off
yeah.
tonight on my way out, I'll go down and check the mailbox and probably get jacked by a ghost or an alien or something. But I'm gonna do it. But I promise you, if something is rattling in the bushes and I hear the mailbox
Right.
talking, saying "Don't get the
Right.
mail," I'm not gonna
Come
open it.
back to it and see what it says.
I'm not gonna open that shit. I'm be like, no, you can keep it.
Just
I'm gonna let you know.
see what's in
Is there a digital copy? And then I'll be
it.
doing that. So anyway, let's talk about the book. So
Okay.
tell me about it.
I'm gonna grab a copy of it. So I wrote a book called 10 Feet Under, if you guys can see that.
Hold on. I'm gonna make it large screen for you. So,
Yeah.
all right, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's much better. So I wrote a book called 10 Feet Under, and this is the story of what happened to my family when we were living in the haunted house when I was 5 years old. And there was my mom and dad, and there was 8 kids. So there was a large family living in one home, and we had these poltergeist paranormal encounters. So this book talks about that story, the true story of what happened to us. So it just got to print on June 2nd. Again, the name is 10 TEN Feet Under, written by Marie Jackson, and just got printed on June 2nd. So it hasn't made its way to Amazon as of yet, to where you can get a digital copy, but I'm working on that. Got to get the formatting right. And then you'll be able to eventually get audiobook as well for it. So to add on to that donation for this show to keep going and to just to keep our viewers and tuned in. Anyone that decides they would like to get a copy of the book, I can mail you a copy of the book, and 5% of those proceeds I'm going to donate to this channel. So that way we can continue to get investigative research, and we
Y'all
can
heard
get the
that? Y'all heard
resources
that?
that we need, and we can get as much funding as we can, so we can keep this ball going and give our viewers, our listeners, and those who've had these encounters with some more research and more information about what's going on. And that way we can be one of those larger sources for you guys with this information. So anyone who decides they would like to purchase a copy of the book, there is obviously some communication information. My information is in the link. I believe it's still being displayed on the screen. You can send me your primary mailing address, and then I do Cash App, I do PayPal, and 5% of the proceeds will go to this station, so we can keep this going and keep this information going.
All right, y'all heard it. Fundraiser for Why the Big Secret. So, and that deserves that particular pitch there, and letting them know that you're all in deserves part of the 30-second theme song. So here we go.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. It's time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts. They're covering all the tracks, but we're not backing down. It's our time, stay on the grind. Why the big secret's about to blow your mind.
All right, y'all heard it. Why the Big Secret is going to blow your mind with 10 Feet Under.
Yes, 10
So
feet.
I do have a question about the title.
Yes.
They always say I'm going to put you 6 feet when you die. So why did you go 4 feet further?
Oh, man. Okay. Interesting about this book. And I don't want to give too much detail because this is the first story, and I have another book that's actually coming out. So the name 10 Feet Under, it has a lot to do with the research that I compiled on where we were staying in the area that we were living in. So it's very significant to that. I don't want to give too much details away because that's going to be for the next book. Also, for this particular book, the name is significant to our family because there were 10 feet in that house. And yes.
Five legs, two legs per person.
2 feet, 1 foot 2 feet per people. So my mom.
I looked at the cover. And I thought you see a shovel.
Yeah.
And you see dirt. Like I done killed some folks. Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing with where we lived at is buried beneath the house, 10 feet deep, 10 feet under.
Okay.
Where we live. So you get a copy of the book. It'll allude a lot to what might be the reason. What is 10 feet deep? What is 10 feet under?
All right. So y'all heard it. You need to go find out. Definitely get the book. I got her social hooks up right there on the bottom. Instagram, you can do an instant message. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook. So she can be found all over the place. And like she said, hey, some percentage come over here to Why the Big Secret, and then I'm gonna give you an extra shout out if you bought the book, and then all of that it's all supporting everything in one big circle. But in the meantime, if you decide, the listener, whoever's listening, and y'all want to chat box, super chat, scream, whatever you want to do, let me put it up here once again. Those things are appreciated. Now, if you also haven't had an opportunity, you want to get on our VIP text list, there's a number on the screen now. If you're on Clubhouse, you can look into the bio and you will see the VIP text list number is 784-8814. But I want you got a hashtag UFO together, and it'll put you into the system to get the welcome messages and everything else. For the older folks that's listening, # UFO. And so that it'll probably get the same thing from there. But in the meantime, I'm here with Marie Jackson. We're going to be here about another 10 minutes. And we're going to be here every Thursday. So, today was just more of an introduction to people to know who you are. And hopefully at this point, then we're going to go breaking into some conversations for y'all. We're going to have some guests, and we're going to give you, some perspectives on both sides of the fence. We'll go over through some news articles, what's happening. She'll give her opinion. I'll give my thoughts. We'll answer questions, from just everywhere they need to be. But I think what you're going to find out is that there is a link between it. And we're going to be always trying to figure out, is there a link between the paranormal, the ghost side, and the ufology side? And are we all talking about the same thing? Are we all possibly talking about the same thing? And so, or is it all the thing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we're going to explore those, and with the help of the audience and everybody participating, giving their points of views and what they're thinking about it. That's going to be pretty cool there. All right, so hang on. Someone says they like my theme song.
Oh, that is a nice theme song.
Yeah, but she put a word. I like your old theme song. So you've been around. So you've been around. You're talking to one that I used to have one called Extraterrestrial Evidence. In,
yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. So I like this one better though. It's more of the marching song, and I only played. Girl from Bay 93. I only played the 30-second version, but there is a longer version that I'll put when we close it in a minute. But it's pretty much. Now somebody says, and I'm going to read what he says, and you can jump in on this. He says, "Big fella." I wonder if he's talking about me or you. You think? I mean, he used the word big or fella. I'm assuming, he's talking about Bigfoot or whatever. But I'm going to take the initiative. He says, "Big fella, do you think UFOs and paranormal are linked?" I just was going to ask that question, right? So I don't know Bob Marley. That's who name is on the screen.
That's his name, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know, but I think there is some connection, and that's what we want to explore. We want to explore, is there some type of link? Because it could be. Now, we have already heard through conversation with Marie earlier about the radiation, Bob Marley. And she was talking about how some of these paranormal objects. Now, when we do a UFO investigation, radiation is one of the prime things we check for. In fact, the government released, people having radiation burns and all of that stuff. So I think that's what there could be some links.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna start. Yeah, we're gonna figure out. Yeah, but don't get me wrong. if the UFO pops through here and walks through my walls and say get out, it's gonna sound just like one of those ghosts. I'm gone.
Yeah.
So either way, it's gonna be, one of those deals. Then they just posted here, the late author investigator John Keel insisted that they are connected. And this is Blanc in Haiti. So there's someone else saying that there is a connection between the two. So we'll find out from that stand of defense. So
yeah.
But that's all right. Bob, I am the big fella. But I just let y'all know I am trying to eat lettuce on a hamburger. And get some of the way I do. I want to get a little more sexy and get that swag since, all right, I'm starring in a couple of TV shows. And if y'all didn't know, I'm hosting a few TV shows and got plenty more that I'm in contracts with now. And, but the biggest thing for me, I just want to be in a restaurant eating a steak. And I want somebody to walk up and say, ain't you that guy on TV? Can I get a selfie? But I want him to see the chivalry that I'm going to have, the honor to be walked up to ask for the picture. Because he's going to look down at this juicy steak, and that person going to say, well, I know you eating. I know I'll just come back. It's not a good time. And I'm going to look at this big steak, and I'm going to be like, dude, you are so wrong. Take the picture. They can warm this shit back up.
That matters so much.
Take the picture. Come on, snake. And I did that at the red carpet event. They put the cameras up, and I was like, no pictures. And you can see the look on their face, like, what's wrong with him? And I said, once I get everybody's attention, I said, take them.
Please, I need this.
I like take them. And so Bob Marley said, big fella is a compliment in Ireland. Well, shit. Okay then. Big fella's a compliment in Ireland. Yeah. I'll take that. All right. I'm down with the front. All right. Mm-hmm. So send me more vibes and all that. And then all right. So she says, I like the song too, Roderick. I appreciate you because girl from the eBay 93. So eBay. So I wonder, you selling anything on eBay, girl from the eBay? From the Bay. Look, I'm talking about eBay. God, I am chewing that shit up, ain't I? And she's probably like, what the hell are you talking about? So it's girl from the Bay 93. That's what it is. All right, not eBay. Boy, that tells you that it's all crazy from there and everything else. Yeah, so tomorrow night's show is going to be Freaky Friday. I'm supposed to be doing a radio show with UNX, and we're preparing for that. And he's going to live stream that. It'll probably come to my YouTube channel from 7 to 9 Central. No, Eastern or something like that. But it's Central Time. Yeah, it'll be 7 to 9. And then right after that, I'm going to get into our weekly show, which from 9 to 11 will still 8 to 10. Because I'm going to do this, Marie, every single day, Monday through Friday. I want to build up, the audience. And it's going to hopefully, people that's listening on Clubhouse, again, if they have not subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, and the likes are going up on the YouTube, so I appreciate it for all of you who have already hit the like button. And if you haven't now, please go ahead and do so. Hit the like button, share the content, and everything else. And we're at the top of the hour, Marie, and I know you have to get your beauty sleep.
Do I?
Yeah, and and pretty much from that, well, someone's asking me, is there a replay? The replay, on YouTube, it'll stay up like the live streams every day. You can go if you missed the live streams, and we're going to make them interesting. I just want everybody to know you're getting ready to get some content here, and it's gearing up, okay? I got some rappers going to be coming, and we'll bring them on here with Marie and I when she's here on Thursdays, and hopefully she'll start coming a little more. And then, we'll open this thing up because our goal is to not only build in the community of our community as well, but with everyone. We want everyone who feels that they've had an experience and it's traumatic. We want you to come here just as much as I did on Clubhouse to feel comfortable and then get to a point where you can laugh about this. You can turn around and say, well, damn, that ghost did knock over my Jordans or something, you know, or he did try them on, and or my Jordans flew across the room, so they got wings on them, you know, all of those things. So I think, yeah, and that's one of the things there. So with that being said, there. So what's next for you? What's going on in your life?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you know, the TV show, and you know, I got to get ready to go to work in the morning, and
Right.
I'm gonna do some writing for the remainder of the evening after I get off of this, and work on the next book, and work on doing some research. So, you know, my life is a journey. I look forward to doing something new every single day. And
So if somebody wanted you to come out and, you know,
doing
see
the
if they have a ghost, do you do this anywhere, or you just stay in the Kansas City area?
Oh no, I'm all over. So if you have a ghost or know of someone that might be experiencing a paranormal disruption, you can reach me at ghostlinktv@gmail.com, or contact me on one of those social media sites, and I will do what's called a preliminary investigation, and then I'll just tap in just to make sure it's not a bunch of baloney. And if it is, I'll come out and do an investigation. There is no charge for that. I do not charge to do investigations. The research itself is my reward.
Now, if they sit here and show you that they got, you know, here's my video camera, and you see chairs in the background like poltergeists flying around, do you still say I need to come out, or you can say, no, y'all ass got some stuff going on there?
I'm still coming out. I'm still going to come out. As long as you give me some type of documented evidence that something.
Because they could be faking it. They can have strings.
They could be
you can't see it. They got strings flying around.
They can have all kinds of like pre-organized stuff up, you know. So I'm going to do an investigation if I believe what you sent me is valid enough. I'll come out.
Well, y'all heard it tonight. This is Why the Big Secret. Roderick Martin with Marie Jackson, and this is Thursday. Tomorrow's going to be Freaky Friday, so you definitely want to get on there, and we'll just talk about some freaky stuff. And if you got an experience, tomorrow I may plug it into Clubhouse and get some on stage so they can say their experience and everything else. But if you're here watching on YouTube, you see I got Marie's information there, so you definitely want to follow that. But come back if you want to just see her again. It's next Thursday. Then eventually it'll be some extra days, and I have some other interviews and people set up Monday through Friday. This is going to go down every day. You're going to be up to date with news. You're going to be up to date with what's going on out here, because I have a system that's going to keep us on top when it comes down to this particular phenomenon. And so I'm just really excited about that, Marie, having you here and just really doing this. And I hope, you know, people begin to share, because it's going to be a live stream all the time. It is a live stream. But the whole point is really get into the community, get into what we're talking about, conversations, and not to exclude any other racial things. But the whole point is, I know there's a tackle or a task that we want to do in the Black community for sure. So if you guys got stories and you got people out there that you know, we can do that. So Marie, I'm going to let you go. And I appreciate you and all that you do and are doing. And yes, the book is beautiful sitting up there. I could tell you are, but then that'll just be like adding on to the cake of icing already, right? But you know that already. So I will now rate you, because we haven't seen all the other people because they've been chatting. But as of right now, you are ranked as the world's most beautiful Black ghost hunter. Okay? All right. So you got the vote. And if you move down to number 2, then don't be mad. You don't know who number 1. You're number 1 right now. So you hold week 1 and you're number 1. Yeah, I love it. The trophy is yours. All right. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Take care.
All right, guys. So this is Roderick Martin, Why the Big Secret, and you just had the interview that we were talking with the greatness of Marie and Marie Jackson there, and she's a ghost hunter, and she's in the Kansas City area, and I thought it would be pretty good to bring her on with us and to really have some conversation. She's going to partner with me on Thursday nights, and so tonight was just more of an introduction, so y'all get to know who she is. So now when you see her more often, so if you're watching this video and you're saying, okay, fine, who is Marie Jackson, you've had an opportunity to get to know who she is. And so I'm really excited about that. And pretty much, if you also in the audience, and like I said before, you got your camera, there are some of you I've asked if you want to hit me up on the back channels, which is contact at whythebigsecret.com. Definitely, get there so I can put you on the list, because we're going to start having panels. I can have up to 10 people on the screen. So imagine us having a detailed conversation here on YouTube Live where we have 10 people. And so I definitely want you doing that. If you're in Clubhouse listening right now, definitely we'll stream, but there's going to be times that there's going to be a lot of visuals that we're going to be showing here. And so you won't be able to see them once we do that. But in the meantime, you will be able to definitely do this. So, once again, it's one of these deals, and one of the things I wanted to. So Tim R said, did he change the name of the show? So Tim, I don't know if you're speaking of here, but Why the Big Secret is the name of the channel itself. And maybe I'm just looking at the chat and y'all could be talking about something else total. All right, so I'm definitely just hitting on that pretty much. I'm gonna let you guys listen to the theme song as well that we got for us, and then I'll give some closing remarks, okay? And so hang around here and just take a listen.
Why we're here. So let me ask you a question then.
There we go. Super chat is open.
Why the big secret? Truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, break it down. Now can you peep it? They're deceiving all the people. Let me ask you, what's the secret? Misinformation and lies, a devious disguise. They want the EMF blast until our brains is fried. Oh, point their beams in the sky. Oh, it's a movie now. This world is all CGI. Their plot is truly foul. But we're here to rise up and bring the real. Time is now, truth seekers. Y'all know how I feel. Truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey.
All right, now y'all heard that. That's the theme song, Why the Big Secret, Truth Seekers. Really want your support. If you want to go to the link in the video, you can sign up for to buy a coffee. Just 16 cents a day would put you into our inner circle as the Truth Seekers, where we're going to be some researchers and do things together. Okay, it comes out to $5 a month. If we can support that, that'll be really good. You can find the link. It's Buy Me a Coffee. buymeacoffee.com/big secret, which is actually in the link of this YouTube video, and you can go there, and if you find value, only if you find value in what I'm doing and you want to support, you can go ahead and do that. And even if the value of liking and sharing this video, then that's worth it to me too. And so I definitely want you to do that. Tim, it used to be called extraterrestrial evidence. And one of the reasons the change was that Why the Big Secret cast us a whole different net. There was a lot of government officials that I used to kind of reach out to get them on extraterrestrial evidence. And a lot of them wouldn't get there because just by the name itself signaled for people to think just because such and such is on an extraterrestrial evidence show, they believe in extraterrestrial. And they've always been the big secret keepers, and that's what I call them. So therefore, they won't do it. Now, I've circled back to some of them, and a lot of them now will come to Why the Big Secret because it's still curiosity. I can ask those questions and get them to say, okay, fine, we can do that. So, and plus I think Why the Big Secret poses a more dynamic conversations that we're going to be having. If we get off topic and talk about something that happened out there and it was a big secret, we'll be able to still have that conversation when it comes down to that. And so once again, is doing that. But again, I want to thank all of y'all, for being here. And one of the messages that I like to leave with everybody, and this is something that's very important. So I want you to pay attention. If you're watching on YouTube, I want you to understand your eyes or useless when your mind is blind. And it's time for you to think why. It's time for you to have that curiosity that we need from there. So, all right, everyone, this is Roderick Martin, and I want to thank you on Clubhouse if you've been listening to the show, Why the Big Secret. We'll be back tomorrow night as well for Freaky Friday. And so if you want to get involved with that, definitely hop on the YouTube channel, and you'll definitely be entertained. We call this infotainment, but in the meantime, we're going to be covering those stories. We're going to get people thinking outside the box here. We also have a question of why the big secret. I want to thank my Truth Seekers members. That is Dorian there. We got Nicole, who is in the chat as well, Nick, and then all of the people who actually gave too. I'll start naming your names. I'll make a list every day at the end of the week so that people know you are very important to what's going on with Why the Big Secret, and we're pretty happy about having your support as always. But in the meantime, at some point, if you find that you do want to, or you do have 16 cents a day laying around in the cup holder of the car and all that, and you want to support us at that $5 a month, it'd be appreciated. You'll find that link right below this video at Why the Big Secret there as well, and so on the videos. But share the videos. If you got someone you think I should be talking to, link us up, because again, we're going to be doing a lot of important things. So next week I have rapper Donnie Arcade is going to be here. So if you know who that is, you definitely want to go to his Instagram, check him out. This guy raps really hard, but he's definitely going to be with us as well. And so I'm excited about having him there as well. And so again, we are the Truth Seekers, and that's who we are. We want the truth. That is our community, including you as our community of viewers and everyone else. And so definitely they don't like that. They don't want us to really get it out. So let's just end it with the shorter version. And this is for you guys. It's for you.
Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. It's time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts. They're covering all the tracks, but we're not backing down. It's our time, stay on the grind. Why the big secret's about to blow your mind.
All right, Joseph, I appreciate that support. He said he'll do $10 a month. Man, I appreciate it, because like I say, it is a task, doing this, but I won't let you guys down. You will be not only important to the mission of what we're going to be doing, but you're going to see some results of your support, unlike anywhere else, and especially with some of the people that you're going to be finding here on this show in days and weeks to come. We're not playing. This is not a joke. We're going to have some fun, but it's not a joke. And I know I've been closing out I'm like church, right? We're about to close. We're about to close. And we're going to be doing that. So, at the end of the day, you guys know I have much love for each and every one of you as we're doing this thing. And just as a word of wisdom. So this is the close. So letting you know. All right. So at the end of the day, like this UFO thing is something new. As you know, the paranormals, we talked about a lot of people is dealing with those things, and so therefore it is something that we as a collective group want to make sure that we cover as we do that every day. If you're in the audience, if you're experiencing some hardships from the UFO experience, or you being abducted, or you feel that you're being contacted, you have found home. This is it. We're not going to make fun of you. We're going to grow with you. We got a lot of people associated with us that you can talk to, and I am a UFO investigator. I do this for the MUFON. This is what I do for a living from the research side. And also, as I have hosted TV shows. So if you want to go to Discovery Channel, there's a show that just started airing called Alien Endgame. And so I am there live hosting one of that show. Just started in Billy Carson's Black Knight Satellite. And where I'm giving you those things is, and I got many more things, is that I'm in this. This is what I do, as opposed to something that I just talk about. I'm very collective on my conversations, and I try to keep them at a level that'll reach the masses and not everyone else. And if you got that high level information, then that's great. I want you to add it on into our conversation. But no, there's a lot of people out there that are just new. It's scary to them, and those are the people that we need to bring into our circle to embrace them, to get them to understand that, yeah, it's real. These things are happening. Yeah, they may not have family or friends that, that they can deal with or talk to, but they can talk to us here. And we don't do any ridicule. But again, I am intending on bringing humor, my humor, anyone else into the mix, because it's so serious, and we got to stop being to a point where we just can't laugh just because you saw a UFO or there's a ghost in your house, you've been abducted. We're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you, because we're together in what we're doing, and that's how I feel about it. And that's one of the things. And someone said, interview Bridget Nielsen. I don't know who that is, but you make the connection, and she wants to, or he or she wants to be on the show, we will do that. All right, so I'm Roderick Martin. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I will see you tomorrow night. If you want to come here. If not, if you're going out, definitely do that. And so again, much love to you all, and y'all have a blessed day. I'm gonna shut down the room in Clubhouse, and then I will be shutting down YouTube. Good night, everyone.